Florida Student Nurses Association and the Legislative Chair for the Florida Student Nurses Association. Mr. Davis is a U.S. Army combat veteran and has served extensively overseas. He's a U.S. Army combat veteran and has served extensively overseas in conflict zones. He is also a former police officer for the New York Police Department. I think the only thing missing from your resume is firefighter, and I'm going to continue to put him on. And with heartfelt gratitude, thank you, Mr. Davis, for serving our country and for protecting the freedoms that we enjoy. With these experiences, Mr. Davis hopes to move on to work as an emergency nurse or emergency nurse practitioner. As NSNA's president, Mr. Davis serves as chair of the NSNA Executive Committee, as a member of the NSNA Finance Committee, and as an ex officio member of the National Student Nurses Foundation Board of Trustees. As NSNA president, he hopes to apply the same passion for innovation to NSNA as nurses do for the profession. He also hopes to build on NSNA's strength and legacy while reaching for new goals and forging new partnerships. Please join me in giving NSNA President Douglas Davis a warm welcome.
You know, I'm not really sure how to follow that. I think that sums it up. I should just go ahead and step off the stage. I have to be honest, I would much rather be in combat right now getting shot at than standing on stage with all these lights and cameras giving a speech. So let me start off by saying good morning, President Grant, Board of Directors, members and guests of the American Nurses Association. My name is Douglas Davis and I'm the President of the National Student Nurses Association. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to bring greetings to the 7th Annual ANA Membership Assembly on behalf of the Board of Directors and the NSNA's 60,000 members. NSNA is proudly on the steering committee for Nursing Now USA and a founding member of the Nurses on Boards Coalition. Earlier this month, the NSNA Board of Directors met in New York City for our second board meeting of the year. The meeting was incredibly successful, and I look forward to showcasing the unique talents and goals of this year's energetic and diverse board. It was an honor to have ANA President Dr. Ernest Grant moderate a plenary session entitled Trending, Healthcare Everywhere in NSNA's 67th Annual Convention last April in Salt Lake City. We also enjoyed having Amanda Buechel, ANA Director at Large, a recent graduate, bring greetings to the NSNA House of Delegates. We deeply appreciate ANA's continued and active support for our convention. Close to 3,000 students, faculty, speakers, and exhibitors attended. We are proud to offer over 50 breakout sessions for students. There were also opportunities to engage with community health, including a blood drive, bone marrow donor registry, and training sessions on Stop the Bleeding. This year, there were also a significant number of healthcare employers in the NSNA Convention Exhibit Hall. The 2019 NSNA House of Delegates came together to debate and discuss topics both important and controversial, affecting not only nursing students, but the health and well-being of Americans across the country, ultimately passing 56 resolutions. As the NSNA President, I will be working on resolutions passed by the House of Delegates that I'm particularly passionate about, such as, in 1964, the Civil Rights Act was signed into law, bringing an end to segregation and employment discrimination. The following year, in 1965, the NSNA, in keeping with its mission and dedication to diversity, created the Breakthrough to Nursing program to recruit and support the enrollment in nursing school of underrepresented minorities. But this year, Resolution 50, introduced by Louisiana State University Health New Orleans School of Nursing, passed, asking the NSNA and its constituents to reaffirm their dedication to this mission and goal. And so we are exploring to engage with underrepresented populations in new ways, either through online informational campaigns such as videos, in school or community informational sessions, or finally forging or rebuilding our relationships with national advocacy associations serving minority communities. Our commitment to diversity and diverse nursing student recruitment remains strong. As many Americans know, healthcare costs are continuing to spiral higher each year, placing affordable care beyond the reach of many Americans. As such, healthcare costs are overwhelmingly the most often cited reason for declaring bankruptcy in America. According to research from the Milken Institute, healthcare costs associated with chronic, lifestyle-associated disease, such as heart disease, diabetes, and COPD, totaled $1.1 trillion in 2016. When we add in the cost of lost productivity, the total impact reaches $3.7 trillion. This is roughly 20% of the entire U.S. gross domestic product. Obesity accounts for nearly half that cost, and another 8.7 is due to the effects of smoking alone. And this cannot continue. As we all know, prevention costs far less than treatment. And so in a resolution presented by the students of California State University of Bakersfield, the NSNA House of Delegates would seek to advocate for a new national standard across all 50 states, requiring health education classes as a requirement for graduation from high school. Nurses, as the historical founders and forerunners of community health, should be leading the charge on this national campaign and fight for the health of our nation. Lastly, let me address the health and welfare of our nursing students and national nursing population. This year, our House of Delegates clearly saw the writing on the wall and passed no fewer than 4 resolutions dealing with vertical and horizontal violence, suicide, nursing student mental health, effective stress management, toxic work cultures, and nursing health topics such as nutrition and exercise, including one resolution submitted by Guillermo Delgado Ortiz, who traveled all the way from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Salt Lake City to present his resolution on vertical violence. For far too long, we have, as a nursing profession, have shown caring and concern for our patients while allowing toxic work and learning cultures to fester unchecked. As a result, nurses are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than someone from outside the healthcare industry. Similarly, a study by Vanderbilt University Medical Center found that out of new grad nurses who leave their jobs within the first 6 months, 60% of them identified some form of horizontal violence as the reason for doing so. 40% of all new graduate nurses, according to some studies, leave their jobs in the first 12 months, and they also often cite vertical or horizontal violence or a toxic work culture as a primary reason. We can do better. We must do better. So it will be my goal in this coming year to work with my board, the staff of NSNA, and allied organizations to create a national anti-bullying and wellness campaign for nursing students, to push the inclusion of nursing wellness into current curriculums, to create education materials and programs to be passed down to local chapters, to facilitate training by our local leaders at the chapter level, to set up our nursing students and future nurses to be prepared to unite and confront vertical or horizontal violence in their academic institutions or workplaces, to be able to positively deal with stress at the school or workplace level, till the day comes that every single one of our members of both the NSNA and the ANA can proudly say that nurses nurture their young. So let me take this opportunity to invite you all to attend the NSNA Mid-Year Conference, which will be taking place October 31st through November 3rd, 2019 in Chicago, Illinois, and the 68th Annual Convention, which will be taking place in Orlando, Florida, my home state, April 15th through 19th, 2020. Yes, we will be at Disney World. If I may take another minute, may I ask for a show of hands from the audience for those of you who are former NSNA members. You know, I think it's amazing how many in this room got their start as NSNA members. So if I may, I'd like to call on you all once more. The goals and programs that I've just discussed and we have set before us will take hard work and, unfortunately, funding. Your renewed support of NSNA as a sustaining member would be instrumental in making sure that this work happens. The ANA's commitment to support new graduates as they transition to practice is vital to the future of our profession. President Grant, as the first man to be elected president of the ANA, serves as a role model for future nurses who aspire to lead our profession of nursing. To ANA members and leaders, we say thank you for your continued relationship with the NSNA, for your mentorship, and for your leadership. Thank you all.